बिनु तेरे, नंदलाल सावरिया मेरे हो। अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, नंदलाल सावरिया मेरे हो। अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, गोपाल सावरिया मेरे। अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, गोपाल सावरिया मेरे।
अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, गोपाल सावरिया मेरे।
अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, गोपाल सावरिया मेरे।
मेरे राधा रमण गिरिधारी,
मेरे राधा रमण गिरधारी,
ओ मेरे राधा रमण गिरिधारी,
मेरे राधा रमण गिरधारी।
गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, ओ
गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी,
ओ गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, ओ
गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी। अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, नंदलाल सावरिया मेरे हो। अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, नंदलाल सावरिया मेरे।
ओ अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, गोपाल सावरिया मेरे।
अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे, गोपाल सावरिया मेरे।
नंदलाल सावरिया मेरे,
नंदलाल सावरिया मेरे,
ओ गोपाल सावरिया मेरे,
गोपाल सावरिया मेरे।
अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे,
अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे,
ओ अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे।
अब कोई न सहारा बिनु तेरे।
मेरी राधा रमण गिरिधारी, गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, ओ
मेरे राधा रमण गिरधारी, गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी,
गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी,
गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी,
गिरिधारी श्याम
गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनऊ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो।
Jai Shri Krishna. A very warm welcome to all the participants. On behalf of Geeta Parivar, I, Shri Mehta, welcome you all on today's interpretation session of last part of 7th chapter, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Today's in the shlokas you have learned this week that will enlighten you with deeper meaning of the yoga of Jnana, knowledge of Nirgur Brahma, and Vijnana, knowledge of manifest divinity. Now it's time for the prayer. Prayer is considered to be the integral part of the culture and practice all over the world. Today we have Vasudha Aswastapurji from Pune, retired professor. Hobbies includes reading, traveling, and doing social service. Education till Master in Civil Engineer, serving as technical assistant in L1 and L2. Also a tech in Vishnu Sahasranam. Joined Geeta Parivar in January 2021. Welcome, Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण। सभी शुरू करूं? ठीक है, शुरू कर दूं दीदी? हाँ। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कौसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Didi, for the melodious prayer.
धन्यवाद
Now it's time for the deep prajalan. Deep lightening of lamp represents hope and prosperity and leads you to spiritual journey. Today we have Suma Bhaji from Gupta in Uttarakhand, Karnataka, homemaker and writing trickle in Kannada language, serving as L1, GC, also L1 intern trainer, Sadhak in L3, joined Geeta Parivar in April 2023. Welcome, Didi.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi, for the divine deep prajalan. Announcement: daily pranayam session, recitation of one adhyay followed by 5 times chanting of Hanuman Chalisa every day is held at 6:30 a.m. Also, we have decided to recite Sampurna Geeta Pranayam every Sunday at 7 a.m. Let's Speak Geeta volunteer program will be held today at 8:30 p.m. We can also be live streamed on YouTube too. Now it's time for the most awaited and most anticipated part of today's session. Our distinguished speaker, Vikas is a mechanical engineer, master of postgraduate, diploma in business management, stayed as NRI for 12 years and now settled in Pune, also owns a small IT firm. You all will be astonished to know that master in languages like Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. Recite all 18 adhyayas of Geeta every day for last 5 years. Trainer in Geeta Parivar from L1 to L4 and enrolled in selection of trainers from L1 to L4. Guiding Geeta Vratis to prepare for Shrungeri Peeth Geeta exam. Won first prize for Geeta contest exam at Shrungeri Peeth with the hands of Param Pujya Jagat Guru Sankaracharya ji. It's an honor to welcome you, Bhaya.
जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। विल स्टार्ट विद द प्रार्थना। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण। We are studying Adhyay 7th, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Last time we had taken up to slok number 20. Kamaistaistairtadjnana prapadyantyena devataha tantanyamastaya prakrutya niyatasvaya. So in that sloka we learned that those whose intelligence has been hijacked, has been stolen by material desires, Kamaistaistairtadjnana, they surrender to different demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations to be followed for worshipping those demigods. They don't come to me, they go to other demigods for fulfillment of their material desires. Okay, with that now we'll continue with the shlok number 21. Yo yo yayantanum bhakta shraddhaya arjitamichhati tasya tasya chalam shraddhan tameva vidadamyaham. Ya means whoever, yam, whichever, tanum, the form of demigod, bhakta is devotee, shraddhaya, with faith, architum, to worship, ichhati, desires, tasya tasya, to him, achalam, steady, shraddham, faith, tam, that, eva, surely, vidadhami, is to give. So Paramatma says that whichever deity a devotee wants to worship with faith, I make his faith in that very deity firm and unwavering. I fortify his faith in that deity. So you worship any deity, no problem. I will make sure that your faith in that particular deity whom you are worshipping gets more and more strong and more fortified. So in Shlok 20 and 21, Paramatma, Lord talks about all those devotees whose devotion is driven by their never-ending list of desires. Shri Krishna says their innate nature is inclined towards acquisition of material world. How to become more rich, how to become more successful, how to become more famous. Look at the politicians or the cine actors. They always are after managing the media to remain in news by hook or by crook. In Mahabharata, there is an incident involving Yudhishthira and Yaksha. The story goes like this. The Yaksha asks Yudhishthira to answer a series of questions correctly, or he too would be killed like his brothers had been killed by the Yaksha. One of the questions the Yaksha had asked to Yudhishthira was, what is the greatest wonder in this world? Yudhishthira gave a very beautiful answer. He said, although everyone knows that the death is inevitable, unavoidable end of life, yet everyone lives as though they will never die. Can there be greater amazement than this? Despite knowing the certainty of death and uncertainty of its timing, all efforts are geared up towards tightening the grip of the material bondage, the worldly bondage, and no tries, no endeavors are taken towards one's liberation. Now, is not that incredibly amazing? This is what is meant by destruction of knowledge and corruption of intelligence. All that is why, and that is the reason why people keep pursuing fulfillment of their never-ending list of worldly desires, kamanas. Furthermore, they involve deities in acquisition of those worldly objects. I worship you, you give me this kamana fulfillment. They follow all the prescribed rituals in appeasing those deities. For example, chanting certain mantras several thousand times, donating something, observing fast on certain days, wearing clothes of a particular color, etc., etc. These are the rules stipulated for worshipping those particular devotees. They do this because they have immense faith that their deity will fulfill their demand. All such people who in a way turn their back on the formless, eternal, supreme Parabrahma, and they run after those deities who are going to fulfill their kamanas, their desires. Instead of worshipping all types of deities with the motive of desires fulfillment, the Lord says, in his sense, it is I who give them the fruits through me, no issues. They go to their own deities, no problem. I fulfill their demands. I give the results, fruits of their worshipping those deities. Now there are some who seek the boon of immortality. This is what the demons like Hiranyaksha sought. Instead of seeking ways to remove the fear of death through the wisdom of knowledge, they say, hell with the knowledge. Why we should need knowledge? I would rather be immortal, Amar. But the Lord says, you cannot attain any such boon. The Lord said to Hiranyaksha that you cannot become immortal like this. So then in return, Hiranyaksha said, okay, in that case, at least grant me a wish whereby I will not die in the following situations, neither during the day nor during the night, neither inside nor outside the house, neither at the hands of a man or an animal, neither on the ground nor in the space. Basically, he covered all possible circumstances where one could die. But did he not die? He did. Thus, this is the greatest wonder of the world, that despite the certainty of death and uncertainty of its timing, people keep on getting more and more entrenched in their material world and get bondaged. No one takes efforts for their salvation and liberation. This is amazing, isn't it? And this is despite the fact that God values the merit of devotion. Even those worshippers who worship other deities, God makes even their faith steady, because devotion is important. No prayer without devotion, be it to any god, is complete. So devotion behind your prayer is a must. You see, the God wants to stabilize the bhakti rasa in us, then it could be for any deity. Once the bhakti rasa, bhakti is established in whichever deity, not necessarily Paramatma, in whichever deity, the journey of that being on the path of spirituality starts. Bhakti has to come, and then the journey on spirituality starts. And that is what Paramatma wants. They to start walking on this path of spirituality. People out of fear are getting their kamanas fulfilled, they worship their deities. If I don't worship this deity, he may get upset with me. So for whatever reason it starts, it is welcomed by Paramatma. Okay. And as he progresses on this path, sooner or later, he starts realizing the hollowness of his demands and his kamanas. So this is probably a trick by Paramatma, that he wants you to start walking on the path of spirituality, and he knows it for sure that sooner or later you will realize how hollow it is to keep on asking for fulfillment of kamanas and demands all the time. And then you will come on the proper track. So this is what Paramatma says, yo yo yayantanum bhakta shraddhya arjita vichyati tasya tasya chalam shraddha tameva vidadamyam. We go to slok 22. Sataya shraddhaya yuktas tasya radhanamihate labhate cha tatah kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. So this is, in short, Paramatma says that whatever sa means he, that devotee, taya, with that, shraddhaya, with inspiration, with deep faith, yukta, endowed with tasya, of that deity, that demigod, aradhanam, for the worshipment, for worshipping, ihate, he aspires, labhate, he obtains, kaman, his desires, maya, by me, vihitan, arranged. Tan is those. So Paramatma says, maintaining such faith, which in turn is prompted by the motive of desire fulfillment, individual endeavors to worship a particular deity or particular demigod. And sanctioned by me, vihitan hitan, sanctioned by me, he obtains that which he desired through that said deity. Whereas the benefits are bestowed by me alone. He thinks his deity is giving him. In reality, it is me who is sanctioning this. People want to get something, and when they get their faith, Shraddha becomes more and more stronger. You go to a deity, do his worship, Sola Somvar or whatever we do for getting fulfillment of our kamanas. Once you get that fulfilled, then your Shraddha, your faith in that particular deity gets more and more strong. And faith can do wonders. Shraddha can do wonders. Small story about Shraddha, the faith. An ordinary man, he wanted to get some special power, siddhi, magic. And he went to an ordinary sadhu who was into making money only from such people. He was not actual sadhu, he was not a devotee as such. So he said to this man that if you serve me wholeheartedly for 12 years, with full shraddha, with full faith, then you will be successful in getting that special power in you. This poor fellow served the sadhu for 12 years in the hope that he will get that magical power in him, that siddhi. When 12 years were over, he said, Guruji, can you please teach me the techniques of acquiring that special power, that siddhi? The sadhu said, oh, my dear, now that you have already served me for 12 years, you already have got that power in you. Now you can even walk on water, you see. So the disciple, that fellow was surprised. He said, can I walk on water? Yes. Getting extremely happy, that man went running to the river in the village and he put his first foot on the water, and really he could walk on the water and reach the other shore. Sadhu was shocked. He was watching all that. He was shocked and he thought, if my disciple, my Shishya can do this, I can certainly do this. He rendered service to me and he can do it. Then there is no reason that why I cannot do it. I should also be able to do it. And then he kept his first foot on the water. And then what happened? He went down the water instantly. Because he had no Shraddha, no sadhana. That poor fellow had Shraddha in his Guru. Whether that Guru was really worthy of it was a different issue. But Shraddha can do wonders. So Paramatma says that I reinforce your Shraddha in your particular deity by granting you whatever you have asked, requested that deity to give you. Fulfillment of Kamna is done by that deity, but ultimately I am sanctioning that. It is like in corporate sector, you see. A man is to get promotion from supervisor to some assistant manager or something. His boss sends recommendation to somebody, his boss. Ultimately, entire promotion plan is sanctioned by the chairman or CEO. So likewise, Paramatma is the CEO or chairman. He sanctions whatever is given, granted to all the devotees who keep worshipping different deities. Okay, we go to next shloka now, 23. Antavattu phalanteşan tadbhavatyalpamedasam devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Antavanta, that means perishable, something which starts and ends, that is antavanta. Phalam is the fruits, the phal. Tesham, they are tata, that bhavati becomes alpamedhasam, of those who have small intelligence, alpabuddhi, alpamedha. Devan, on those deities, those demigods, deva yajaya, worshippers of those demigods, yanti, to go, bhakta is of course devotee, yanti to go, mama is to me. So Paramatma says, people with limited understanding, alpamedhasam, people with limited understanding, they worship demigods for their desire fulfillment, but the fruits of such prayers, endeavors are limited and temporary. Your sadhana starts and ends. Similarly, the fruits of your sadhana that you get from those demigods, it starts and it ends. Those who worship demigods attain demigods, but my devotees, they attain me. Now, what is a devotee? A devotee regards even the most dreadful situation as being part of prarabdha karma. We already discussed last time what is kriyaman, sanchit and prarabdha. So this devotee, he accepts it calmly without being upset or agitated. Now this is easier said than done, because when faced with an unfavorable or disastrous event, all the heard knowledge goes out of window. And you start walking on the path of spirituality to get ready for facing such situations only, without getting flustered or rattled. But instead of that, what happens is that you get shaken by the event and then you forget all the words of wisdom that you have learned. We keep saying, I am blessed. The Lord's grace is on me. The Guru's grace is on me. Such sentiments, unfortunately, are in your heart only as long as the things are favorable to you and happening in accordance with your wishes. But no sooner than adversity, disease, or a calamity event occurs in your life, that your faith evaporates faster than the drop of water. Is God sleeping? Why can't he see my pain? What wrong I have done that you are punishing me? Oh God, how good and charitable I have been in my life. But what did I get in return? Thus, you blame the God or your Guru. But whatever distance you have walked on the path of spirituality, have you understood a basic teaching that every time its speed breaker comes up, slows down the speed of your life? And adversity in life is nothing but a speed breaker that slows down the flow of life. And what is life? Life means change. Same situation does not remain throughout your life. It is a mixed bag of happy and unhappy events. There was one follower of Swamiji. He once told that his son-in-law had been suffering from cancer. He told Swamiji. After a few days, when again he met Swamiji, Swamiji asked, "How is your son-in-law now? Is he responding to the treatment?" The devotee, very jovially, he replied, "Swamiji, he has been promoted. He used to live with us, and now his promotion has made him to live with the God." What a sense of humor in tough situations. So if you start accepting the tragedies of life in such humorous manner that ultimately it is all inevitable that it happens. So it is in such moments of adversity that you get tested on your imbibed knowledge. Your spiritual practices of dhyana, Geeta, Chintan, all they come to your rescue when you are in such moments. When situation is normal, all of us score 10 out of 10 with our wisdom. You can ask any questions on Geeta and I will pass. I become Geeta worthy 600 out of 600. Very good. But your real prowess gets revealed only at the time of your examination in life. Geeta worthy is simple. Giving exam in the life is tough. And that is the real test of our life. In a sense, although you have grown up physically, yet in your heart, you still remain a child. A child who constantly seeks appreciation, who constantly wants to get pat on his back for being a very good boy, for being better than other children. All that has changed or your toys are playing. Now you need a bigger house, you need a bigger car than what your neighbor or your colleague or relatives have. God says you get what you desire and aspire for it. Thus, one who lusts after material world attains the worldly objects, and the one who is absorbed in my remembrance, he attains me. That is what Lord says in this shloka. So the ball is in your court. The choice is all yours. If you want worldly objects, remember that too you get because of His grace. On the other hand, when you think enough is enough in this material world and you immerse yourself in the remembrance of God, then you will attain Him. Thus, if there is no God in your life, it is your fault because you don't want God. The worshippers of demigods at the most can reach the abode of those demigods, from where they have to return to this mortal world again. But the worshippers of Paramatma, they attain Him only. If a striver regards the deity as the manifestation of God, he will attain salvation. But if he does not regard his deity as manifestation of Paramatma, he will not attain salvation, liberation, mukti, moksha. The defect in worship of deity is that the fruits of their worship are perishable because their rights are also limited. It is like the corporate world, as we discussed. The manager has limited rights and the CEO has the ultimate rights. The worship of God is very easy as it needs technique, no rules, no labor required. There is predominance of only devotion there. But there is no Parabrahma temple anywhere in the world as he is formless. So how to devote, how to worship Parabrahma, Paramatma? He is formless. There is no temple of Parabrahma. I can go to Ganesh temple. I can go to Lakshmi temple. Where is Parabrahma, Paramatma temple? I have not seen at least. A man may have knowledge of several worldly objects, sciences, arts, crafts, etc. Yet he is a man of very small intellect. In fact, the knowledge of worldly objects strengthens ignorance. But he who knows God, he may not have knowledge of worldly science objects. He may not even know car driving, but he is Sarvavit, knower of all. That is what we learn from Geeta. That this material world knowledge is not the real knowledge. Jnana is about yourself, and about the Paramatma. That is the real Jnana. Geeta makes our concepts of intelligence stand upside down. Whatever we consider as Jnana, that is not the Jnana, that is Vijnana. And whatever we consider as ignorance, in fact, if we know about pure self, we know about Paramatma, then we are real Jnani. Okay, we go to slok number 24. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mama buddhayah param bhavajananto mama vyamanuttamam. Now further, avyayam. Avyayam is non-manifested. Avyaktam rather. Avyaktam is non-manifested. Vyakta is manifested. Avyaktam is non-manifested. Vyaktim is personality. Apannam is achieved. Manyante is to think. Mama, me. Abuddhayaha, people with less intelligence. Abuddhayaha. Param is supreme. Bhavam, existence. Ajananta, without knowing. Avyayam, imperishable. Anuttamam is the finest, the best. The Lord says, people lacking in intellect, having blurred discrimination, Viveka Buddhi is blurred. They believe of me as having form and body like men. They think I am also like human beings. They are unaware of my supreme, unmanifested, unsurpassable, never-changing reality. They don't understand that I manifest myself in a form by virtue of my Maya. And when I do that, we learn that in 4th Adhyay. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthānam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. And what do? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Now, what is the essence of Paramatma? It is intangible, imperceptible. Sri Krishna says, my real essence cannot be perceived through senses. It is beyond senses, mind and intellect. I am indestructible, I am imperishable, I am eternal, whereas the senses, the mind, the intellect are all destructible, perishable. So how can you know the indestructible Krishna through destructible senses, mind and intellect? The only way to know Krishna is by making prayers. The Lord says, you can understand me by praying for me. Now, what is a prayer? A small story about prayer. A person once saw in the dream that he has arrived in the Swarga, paradise. On reaching the Swarga Loka, the divine atmosphere there, he gets immersed in that pleasant surprise. His heart fills with incomparable joy on seeing the atmosphere in that heaven, in Swarga, and the beautiful view that surrounds him. Just at that time, he saw the Lord himself, God himself. God comes and welcomes him. And he accompanies him to see around the heavenly world. While traveling around the heaven with him, the Lord shows him special places, also telling him their importance. The Lord comes and stops near a grand and beautiful room and says, from this room, we can see everything that is going on the earth. Come, let us see what is happening in your village, in your town right now. It was a pleasant Sunday morning. All the skies were slightly sunny. The whole temple was packed with people coming for prayers, with more and people coming, and everyone was praying to the Lord. The musicians were also playing music on harmonium, tabla. Their fingers were dancing swiftly on the keyboards and tabla. The keyboard keys were moving up and down rapidly. The whole scene was visible very clearly, like a movie. But the sound of prayer could not be heard. The man got confused. He said to the Lord, I can see everything clearly. The fingers are moving on the keyboard, that also I can see. The keys on the hand moving on tabla, that also I can see. I can see people dancing also in full devotion. I can see everything. but I can't hear the sound of prayer. The Lord says, you are right. Those who do not pray from their heart, their voices are not heard here in this Vargaloka, in this heavenly world. So prayer is an effective way of communicating, contacting or building relationship with the God. The words of prayer should be such as to awaken a feeling in us. Once the emotion is awakened, words are no longer needed. But the prayer should be there. And Lord already says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchidati siddhaye yatadamam siddhanam kaschinma viddatpataha. Hardly 1 in thousands they understand all this. And out of those who understand, hardly one of them can reach me. So it is not so very common to reach Paramatma. We go to next sloka now, 25th. 25th sloka, Paramatma says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudho yanna vijanati loko mamajam avyayam. No means not, nor. Aham. Aham is I. Prakash. Prakash is the manifested form, visible. Sarvasya, to everyone. Yogamaya, the eternal potency of Paramatma, Yogamaya. Samavrita, getting covered. Mudha, foolish. Ayam, these. Abhijanati, can understand. No abhijanati, cannot understand. Loka is people. Mama, me. Ajam, ajam is unborn. Avyayam, that is imperishable. So Lord says, being concealed by my Yoga Maya, being concealed by my Yoga Maya, I am not manifest to everyone. Everyone cannot see me because I am covered by my Yoga Maya. The ignorant are unaware of my real essence, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and I am indestructible. See, every year on the occasion of Janmashtami, people celebrate the birthday of Shri Krishna. And here Shri Krishna says clearly that he is unborn. So do we celebrate the birthday of an unborn? The Lord says, I am indivisible. I am not confined to one particular space. I am boundless. I am limitless. I am beyond the concept of space and time. Shri Krishna says, Yoga Maya, it camouflages my infinite essence in such a way that human beings remain unaware of my real nature. My real nature gets covered with my Yoga Maya. People keep playing with my Yoga Maya only, and they never penetrate that Maya and reach me. I am intangible, hence unmanifest to ordinary perception. After all, how can you perceive the imperceptible? What is the first condition for complete transformation? How can you become completely transformed? You have to be empty. Whatever material desires are there in your mind, you have to make your mind empty of everything. Empty your mind of half-cooked knowledge what you have gained. Again, a small story. Once upon a time, a young man looking for a maestro with desire to master the music. He came across with a great music teacher and he said to him, you are a great teacher of music. I have keen interest in mastering the music. Actually, music is life for me. So I request you to please teach me the music. The music. So much desire to learn music from me, definitely I will teach you. Now the young man asked the maestro, the teacher, what will I have to do in return for this? The teacher said, not much, just give me 100 gold coins. 100 gold coins? That is too much. And I already know little bit of music. I don't have to start from zero. I know some bit of music already. But okay, I will give you 100 gold coins. To this, the teacher, the master, he replied, if you already have a little knowledge of music, then you will have to give me 200 gold coins for learning music from me. The young man was surprised. He asked in astonishment, Master, that is so strange, perhaps beyond my logical comprehension. The price increases for lesser work. I know some music and you say, if you know some music, I will charge you more. Then the teacher replied, how is the work less? First, I will have to make you forget, that is unlearn what you have wrongly learned, then I will have to start teaching anew to learn something new, something useful, and something important. First of all it is necessary to empty your mind, to clear it. Otherwise, it will not be able to absorb that new knowledge. This is especially important for development of creativity and for self-realization. If you want to have self-realization, you have to empty your mind of all the thoughts that you have. Because it is impossible to put anything else in an already filled container. If the mind is already occupied with so many worldly desires, how can you put your self-realization thought in that? Very difficult, almost impossible. So it is better to have no knowledge than to have incomplete knowledge. To learn, it is always necessary to be empty. And to achieve anything in life, whether in physical or spiritual, first of all, we will have to simplify our intention, our motives, or objectives. So empty. Let us remember this word empty. You have to empty your mind of all material thoughts. Then only we can probably think of learning self-realization. Slok 26. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani ja bhutani mantu vedana kaschana. Now Paramatma is giving a complaint to us. Paramatma says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani ja bhutani mantu vedana kaschana. Veda means to know. Aham, I. Samatitani, completely past. Vartamanani, the present. Bhavishyami, the future. Bhutani, all living entities. Mama, me. Tu means but. Veda is to know, question anyone. So Paramatma says, Arjuna, I am the knower of everything. Vedaham samatitani. I am the knower of everything, be it past, be it present, or be it future. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna. Bhavishyani cha bhutani. Of everyone. I know all things and all beings, but no one knows me. This is a complaint Paramatma is making to us, that I know everyone, his past, his present, his future. We learned this in 11th Adhyaya Bhagavad-Gītā when Arjuna was shown the Virat robe. Arjuna could see the future also in that Virat robe. What is going to happen to Pitama, Bhishma, to Karna, to Duryodhana? He could see it in that Virat robe. Paramatma had said, whatever you want to see, okay, you can see it. So Arjuna could see the future also. So Paramatma says, I know the future, past, present of everyone, but no one knows me. How is it? It is like, we watch a movie in a theater for say 2.5, 3 hours. And in that small time, we see the past, present, and future of heroes comprising of his 70 to 80 years of life in a small time slot. The movie starts typical with two small kids getting separated at the time of birth. One is raised by a police officer, or another is raised by a smuggler or some criminal, and then they become young, and then they fall in love with some girls and they start dancing. Then they get married, they produce their children, blah, 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 blah. Big, long story. It goes on for 70, 80 years. We see that entire span of their 70, 80 years in just a couple of hours on their screen. So we are watching their past, we are watching their present, and we are watching their future also. Similarly, God is watching us. For God, there is no time. He is beyond time. He is Kalatit. And here, we don't know even about ourselves. Paramatma knows everything about us, but we don't know about ourselves itself. Do we recognize ourselves, what we truly are? Who am I? Small story again. The son of an emperor, he had become spoiled, bad habits. He had fallen in the wrong company. The father was upset. One day the father became very angry, and in a fit of rage, he said to his son, you will be thrown out of this palace. Either rectify yourself or leave my palace. The emperor had not thought that the prince would actually leave the palace. But the prince left the palace because he got very, very angry. The emperor's son was as stubborn as the emperor himself. He left the palace and father searched for him a lot, but he could not find him. Years passed. The old father's eyes had blurred now as he wept so much. He had only one son. The entire empire was for him, The father used to repent a lot. Why did I fire my son like this? But that in what unfortunate moment did I utter such words that I will throw you out? I should not have said this. Nearly 20-25 years passed by waiting like this. One day, a beggar was begging outside the emperor's palace. The king looked at him and he felt that it was a familiar face. The old father's heart immediately recognized him. There was light in his eyes again. His heart said, "Oh, this is my son who has come in the form of a beggar begging outside my palace." But in those 25 years, the son had completely forgotten that he was son of an emperor. We will not forget in 25 years of poverty, continuously begging from door to door. For 20 years, 25 years, he went from door to door, village to village, asking for a piece of bread. 25 years of beggary, the layers piled up over and over, and he forgot that he was once the son of an emperor. To go from place to place and to get reprimanded everywhere, to get fired, to get shouted at everywhere, people behaving very badly, very rudely, being told at every door, "Move ahead, aage jao." If the inner emperor had remained aware, he would have pulled out of his sword. But he had forgotten that he was an emperor, he was the son of an emperor. So the inner emperor had to fade away. He had to be forgotten. And slowly he forgot that he was the son of an emperor. That was the right thing. It was practical to forget about him. And how could he remember? When 25 years, for all 24 hours, he was being reminded of only one thing from all sides, that you are a beggar, you are a beggar, you are a beggar. Then all he remembered was he was a beggar, and he forgot that he was the son of an emperor once. No one allowed him to stay at the door. No one let him sit under the tree. No one let him stay, take the bread and move ahead. Don't stop here. Hardly anybody could give any piece of good words to him. His body smelled foul. Forgotten were the days of fragrance, of palace, of pride, of comfort, of glory, of dignity. They were all forgotten. 25 years of dust settled so much on the mirror that no image could be found in the mirror. So the son did not know anything, and he came to this village begging in the same way as he had been begging at all other places. This too is a village like other villages, but when the father's eyes saw him, he recognized it, that it was his son. Seeing his condition of the son, the king seemed to go numb and lifeless. He called his wazir and asked, "What should I do?" The wazir said, "Be careful and act wisely. If at once you say that you are the prince, you are my son, then it will be so big for him that he will not believe it. He may even go mad. He will doubt you, so you will have to move very slowly. He has really forgotten everything. Otherwise, he would not have even come here for begging. He does not remember anything." When the emperor called him inside the palace, he started running outside the palace. When the servant ran after him, he said, "No, brother, I don't want to go inside. Leave me. I'm a very poor man. I'm a beggar. Why you are calling me inside the palace? It was a mistake that I came to this palace, to the king's court. I just beg. I don't need to go inside." He was so scared that he thought that he might get punished if he goes inside the palace. And then he might be even jailed. He did not know that the problems would arise if he went inside. But the servants explained that masters want to call you inside. They want to give you a job. He feels pitiful. So he went inside. The king hired him for a sweeping job. Aap jhadu lagao roz yahan pe. He gave a sweeping job to him. Then gradually when he started doing sweeping and then getting a little familiar with the palace, then he was promoted a little, and then little and a little more promotion was done. Then he started coming inside the palace as well. Soon his clothes were also changed. Then he was given a bath, and slowly he started agreeing. In such a way, as years went by, he was brought to the post of wazir. He became wazir. And when he came to that position of wazir, then one day the emperor called him and said, "You are my son." And then he accepted, he agreed. Then he was convinced that yes, since he had to climb so many stairs, this could have been said on the first day as well, but then he would not have been able to accept it. If somebody tells us that you are God, if somebody tells us today that you are God, can we believe it? We say that it may be a matter of principle, but me and God, impossible. That is why it is said that meditate, be engrossed in devotion. Come on, start with sweeping and cleaning like that fellow did. Although it can be done right now, but we will not agree to that. Although there is no need to lose a single moment, there is no need for gradual development. It can happen in one leap. But we do not believe that it can happen in one leap. So let us do sweeping and cleaning. Let us start in a small way and then go rise and then ultimately feel, ultimately know the pure self, ultimately realize the God, and then you can accept, you can believe that yes, I am God. So gradually there will be a promotion and we'll have to progress slowly and gradually. Then one day when the last moment comes, we will come to the position of that Vajir like that fellow did. When a little glimpse of Samadhi starts coming near, meditation starts sparking, then in a single moment, we'll accept the same thing that yes, I am God. Then we'll have the faith in this. But suddenly if somebody tells you, you are the God, we definitely will not accept it. So the growth, the change and transformation is the evolution. And we'll have to come on this route of evolution slowly but surely. Slok 27 now. इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप. Now Paramatma says Ichha Dvesh Samutthena. Ichha, desire. Dvesh, the hate. Samutthena, arising from. Dvandva, the duality. Mohena, by illusion. Sarva, all. Bhutani, living entities. Sammoham, into delusion. Sarge, while taking the birth, getting evolved. Yanti, yanti is to go. So Paramatma says Arjuna, Parantapa, Arjuna, all beings are entangled into delusion as a consequence of dualities arising from desires and aversion. And thus they are entrenched in darkness of ignorance, forcing them to follow the cycle of birth and death. Now this is the word-to-word meaning. Our desires and aversions, they keep us busy throughout the life. And our mind space is mostly occupied by these, only leaving hardly any time for remembrance of Supreme. I keep giving this example. Last time also I gave that if I am taking tea in the morning 7 o'clock every day, one day I don't get tea at 7 o'clock, I get angry with my wife. I start thinking many different things in anger, that I do so much for my family doesn't take care of me, they don't give me even a simple cup of tea in time, all blah, 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 blah things, angry. But after 10-15 minutes, when the wife comes with a smiling face, and then when she gives me the cup of tea, I fall in love with her again and say, oh my God, you brought the tea. Then wife explains, yesterday we had guests, all sorts of things, coffee we made, there was no milk and all that. I walked down to the next corner, bought milk and then made tea for you. So then again, started liking my wife. So but this kind of dvandva in mind, a moment of anger, another moment of love, another anger of hatred, love, hatred. Is this the way we are supposed to live our life? Are we not wasting our precious time in playing with these emotions? Can we not do away with small things happening in life and keep our mind fully occupied only with the remembrance of Paramatma? Sagun, Sakar, Nirgun, Nirakar. Whether I should spend time with my friends or I should spend time in Adhyatma. Krishna was one, or Krishna, there were two Krishnas. The Krishna who was in Vrindavan playing with gopis and Radha was different than the Krishna who told Geeta to Arjuna. Some such useless dvandva in the mind. The useless thoughts keep us busy and take us away from our Lord, and that ultimately results in the birth and death cycle. We have little time for Paramatma. what do we want from life? And are we looking for what we we really want? Are we looking for what we actually want? An old group met a long time after leaving the college. All of them were earning a lot of money with good career. They met at their favorite professor's home. The professor started talking about their work. Slowly, the conversation led to the topic of increasing stress and work pressure in the life. It happens usually. Everyone was of the same opinion on this issue, that yes, the life has become very stressful. That even though now they were all very strong financially, their life was no longer as fun as it used to be. The professor was listening to them very carefully. He suddenly got up and after a while returned from the kitchen and said, "Dear students, I have prepared hot coffee for you. But please, all of you, go to the kitchen and get the cups for yourself." So the boys went inside quickly with a variety of cups where they are kept inside the kitchen. Everyone started picking the best cup for themselves. Some of them picked up beautiful crystal cup, some selected porcelain cup, some picked up a glass cup. When everyone had coffee in their hands, the professor said, "If you have paid attention, you all chose the cups which were good looking, expensive, and did not pay attention to the ordinary looking cups." Whether on the one hand, it is normal to want the best for yourself, on the other hand, it brings the problems and stress in your life. It is for sure that the cup does not change the quality of coffee. It is just the means through which you drink the coffee. Basically, what you need was just coffee, not the cup. But still, you all went after the best cup. And after taking yourself, started looking at the cup of others. I have got this cup. Which cup this fellow has got? Now listen to this very carefully. Life is just like coffee. Our jobs, our money, our position are like the cups. They are just the means of living life, not the life itself. And what cup we have does not define our life, or nor does it change our life. That is why worry about the coffee, not about the cup. The happiest people in the world are those who have the best of everything. The happiest are those who make the best use of whatever they have. So the happiest people in the world are not those who have the best of everything. You may have the best of everything, but even then you may not be happy. Otherwise, all rich people would have been happy. The happiest are those who just make the best use of whatever they have. They enjoy and then they live the life to the fullest. So happiness does not depend on the external factors. We must balance our dependence on the external sources of happiness with some other more permanent sources of happiness, which is inside, not outside. Okay, Shlok 28. येषां द्वन्द्वगतं पापै जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोह निर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः. येषां द्वन्द्वगतं पापै जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोह निर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः. Yesham, whose andagatam, completely eradicated, vanquished, finished. Papam, the sin, jananam, of the person's people, punya, pious, pavitra, karmanam, whose previous activities, dvandva, of duality, moha, delusion, nirmukta, free from, bhajante, getting engaged in devotional service, mam, to me, dhradavrataha, with determination. So Krishna says, but those performing various virtuous, sattvic, good acts, not prompted by any hidden desire, whose sins have been destroyed and who are free from delusion of duality, such beings are resolutely devoted to me and steadfastly they worship me and me only. This is the word-to-word meaning. Now, how can one, his sins can be eradicated? How can you remove your sins? How can the sins be eradicated? Well, by performing the Nishkam Karma, carrying out all virtuous acts and offering them to the Lord. And Nishkam Karma should be done with an open mind and without any malice, without any hatred, without any other thinking in your mind. When we ask for something with a hope in our heart that I will get this what I am asking for, and when we get a no in the reply, what is the condition of our mind in that moment? Our karma does not remain nishkam. We are always expecting something, but when that thing does not happen, what what kind of thoughts come to our mind? Once a bird was looking for a shelter to lay eggs in the rainy season. So she saw two trees and went to seek the shelter from them. When she asked the first tree, it refused to give her the shelter. Disappointed, she went to the other tree. Incidentally, the second tree agreed and gave her the shelter. The bird made its nest there and laid the eggs when the time came. Then, a few days later, the rainy season arrived. It rained so heavily that the first tree, it collapsed and started flowing in the flood. When the bird saw that tree was flowing in the water, it said to the tree with pride, "Look, this is your karma. You did not help me. You did not give me your shelter. Now the Lord of this world has punished you. You are dead. You are flowing in the water now. You are flowing in the flood now." The tree which had fallen and flowing in with the water, it smiled for the last time and said, "My dear birdie, my dear friend, I knew that my roots are too weak and I will not be able to sustain, to withstand the coming rains. That is why I refused you to give the shelter. I did not want to put your life and your children's lives at risk. And that was the reason I said no to you." The bird's pride turned into pain and her smile turned into tears because she now knows the reason she and her children were alive today, because she got a no from that tree. So we always take somebody's no as their ego without understanding the whole situation. Actually, we get so engrossed in our own problems that we forget to see the other side, and without understanding their intention, we make our own assumption, which most of the times are wrong. So never judge others by their no, because we don't know their side. We don't know what good lies behind that no for us. Respect a no in the same way as you respect the yes. Stop and think deeply about it before making any decision about it in your mind. So meditation helps you evaluate whether your thinking is right or wrong, beneficial or not beneficial. And we learn exactly the same thing from Bhagavad Gita. In short, Paramatma says, this charity, austerity, mantra chanting, seva are all virtuous acts. However, remember that these acts are carried out without egoistic mind. If they are not done with egoistic mind, then they cannot be virtuous act. In fact, they will further inflate our ego. And inflating ego means addition to the already long list of previous sins that we have accumulated in past so many lives. So don't expect even the appreciation of your virtuous act. Do it, offer it to the God, and forget. Gita is teaching us how to live the life. Next sloka 29. Jara marna mokshaya mama shritya yatantiye te brahma tadvidakrastam adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Jara is the old age. Marana, of course, death. Mokshaya, purpose of liberation, salvation. Mama, me. Ashritya, taking shelter of. Yatanti, endeavor, try. Ye, all these who. Te, such people, such efforts, such people. Brahma, Paramatma. Tata, actually that. Vidu is to know. Krishnam, everything in totality. Adhyatmam, spiritual. Karma, activities. Akhilam, entirely, completely. So having surrendered to me, Krishna says, having surrendered to me, striving to attain the liberation from old age and death, they come to know the Parabrahma, knowledge of self, the knowledge and the working of the karma. The important point here is surrendering it to the Lord and then taking efforts for one's liberation. The sentiments in our mind should be, "Oh Lord, I am yours, you are mine. I surrender completely unto you. I take refuge in you." The surrendering into the divine, strive for liberation from sufferings of old age, disease, and death. These are the stages no one can avoid in life. But suffering from this can be avoided. With devotion to Paramatma, the sufferings can be avoided. These stages cannot be avoided. See, both the conditions are to be fulfilled. First is taking refuge in the Lord, surrendering it to the Lord, and then offering all your actions to Him, and then sincerely endeavoring on the path of spirituality. There is no alternative to taking efforts by yourself. Neither the God nor your own Guru can do it for you. This is something which you have to do by yourself. By surrendering it to the God, you are in effect relinquishing your I. Then all actions are done with the sentiment that the Lord is doing the actions through this body, through this mind, through this intellect. God, it is you who enables me to do singing your praise, doing vivation, doing chanting, all other virtuous act. It is you who is making my mind peaceful, and it is you, God, who is enhancing my sattva guna. So in all stages, you have to be in the mode of gratitude towards the God. Thus, the one who has both the wings, you need to have both these wings. The first wing is of surrender, and second wing is of your efforts. So the one who has both these wings of surrender and efforts, he alone can go high and high and touch the ultimate, the pinnacle of spiritual evolution. Now, how do we develop our inner strength, our inner capacity? There is a small story of Socrates. Once a great philosopher, we know about Socrates was a very, very great philosopher. So this Socrates was sitting and having discussion with his disciples, with his shishas. At that time, an astrologer came there. This astrologer, he said to all the people sitting there that I can tell about the character and personality of all the people by just looking at their faces and their appearance. Is there anyone interested in testing my skills? All the disciples started looking towards the astrologer. Socrates asked the astrologer to tell him something about himself. The astrologer looked at Socrates with great interest. Socrates was very simple and unattractive in appearance, but he was known and respected for his wisdom and intelligence. We also know he was a very intelligent man. After taking a close look, the astrologer said to Socrates, looking at your face, I can say that you are an anti-government person with a deep sense of rebellion. Your forehead shows that you are a very violent, aggressive. And before he could say any more, the disciples of Socrates were very furious. Why is talking so bad about our boss or guru? And they asked astrologer to leave immediately. But Socrates pacified his disciples and he said, wait, let the astrologer continue what he was saying. The astrologer further said to Socrates, your distorted forehead shows that you are a greedy person, and your chin speaks about your strange nature. Hearing this, the disciples of Socrates, they become even more angry. But they followed the orders of their master and remained silent. Socrates also advised his disciple again to remain calm. Ultimately, Socrates thanked that astrologer and even rewarded him before leaving. His shishas were amazed by the behavior of their master Socrates. They asked their guru, Guruji, why did you reward the astrologer who insulted you in such bad words? He spoke lies about you, untruthful things about you. Socrates said, no, everything the astrologer said about me is true. I have all the negative traits he mentioned. I am greedy, I am short-tempered, I am awkward. Yet, yes, I am all that, but he forgot to point out the very important thing about me. He only saw my out. He failed to see my inner potential. The inner ability because of which I keep all these evils under control. So outwardly you may have any weaknesses, any incapability. So long as you are internally very strong and pure, you can control all the external evils of yours. You can keep them under control. Hearing these words of Guru, all the disciples became calm and content. So mastering our inner world, is it difficult? Yes, difficult, but not impossible. Learning Gita, understanding the meaning, knowing Paramatma's message to us, we can know our inner world. In fact, this ability is available with all of us. Meditation is the means to develop this ability. Bhagavad Gita reading, understanding is the way to know our inner world. And once our inner strength is there, we can handle our external weaknesses in a very smooth way. Okay, last look of this adhyaya now, 30th. साधिभूतादिदैवं मां साधियज्ञै च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः. Sadhibhuta. Sadhibhuta in the form of material manifestation, creation. Adhidaiva, the creator in the form, that is the creator of this Srishti, that is Brahmadeva. Adhiyajna, Lord Vishnu, who pervades everywhere. Mama, me. Vidu, Vidu means no. Prayanakali, at the time of death. Api, even. Mama, me. Te means they. Yukta Chetasaha, their mind are engaged in me. Yukta Chetasaha. So Lord says, Paramatma says, he who knows me as Adhibhut, Adhidaiva and Adhiyajna. The mind of such a jnani is steadfastly absorbed in me and he attains me even at the time of death. This is the word-to-word meaning. Incidentally, this shloka is also the beginning of 8th adhyaya. This is the end of 7th adhyaya and 8th adhyaya begins with the shloka from Arjuna who hears this terminology Adhibhut, Adhidaiva, Adhiyajna. The first shloka of 8th adhyaya says, Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adhibhutam kim proktam adhidaivam kim uchyate. So in that he asked the question, what is Adhibhut? What is Adhidaiva? What is Adhiyajna? All that. So this is the beginning of 8th adhyaya. Now coming back to this shloka, in brief, Adhibhut refers to that which is created and which gets destroyed. The tangible material world has been created from 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, Panchamahabhuta. Thus, Adhibhut, it refers to this entire material world which gets evolved and which gets destroyed. Adhidaiva refers to the sentient, the Chetan, Samvedanshil, Jiva, which enables the body, mind, intellect to perceive, to experience this material world. That is Adhidaiva. And Adhiyajna is the Parabrahma itself, Lord Vishnu, the all-pervasive Satchidananda. Lord says to Arjuna, the one who knows me in these all 3 roles, the creator, the experiencer, and the supreme Parabrahma, such a jnani, he attains me even at the time of death. So if we know Paramatma's 3 roles of Adhibhut, Adhidaiva, and Adhiyajna, and this is all around us. Adhibhut is the world that we see, Adhidaiva who created us, and Adhiyajna is the Lord Vishnu, Mama Vivaksha Jiva Loke, that Amsha of Paramatma, that fragment of Paramatma is Adhiyajna. One who knows me in all these 3 roles, he gets jnani, even he gets me, he attains me, even if he knows this 3 roles of mine at the last time, Prayanakala. Prayanakala is the moment when we breathe our last in this world. So even about that time, Okay, that was all I think. We can start discussing about this adhyaya now. If you have any questions, the platform is now open for you to raise your questions. We can discuss your questions. That was the end of Adhyaya 7, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Last time we had discussed what is Jnana and what is Vijnan. So we can have, if you have any questions on these shlokas, around 20 to 30, what we discussed today, you are most welcome to raise your questions. If there are no questions, we can probably stop here. Yes, please. Can you please unmute those who have questions? So host, can you please unmute those who have questions?
Yes, it was network issue. Thanks a lot, Bhaiya, for making this session a grand explanation. Now we'll move to the question and answer sessions. Those who have question can please state Sandhya ji. Yes. Just a second, Bhaiya, there is net issue. Yes, Sandhya ji, please unmute yourself. Sandhya ji, unmute yourself. I have sent you the request.
I cannot hear anyone.
Yes, Bhaiya, I have told him to unmute request yet. Sandhya ji.
Okay.
Gargi ji, you can say. Unmute yourself, Gargi ji. Gargi ji, I have sent you the request. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, just a second.
What is happening, Tanushree ji?
Getting, they can't unmute themselves. I'm just talking to.
Okay, Sandhya ji is unmute now, I think.
Yes,
Sandhya ji,
yes.
you are muted already.
Now I can, yes.
Yeah.
It's not pertaining to the shlokas today done, but I want to ask when everything is at God's wish or Paramatma's wish, then where is our role in doing the things in a whatever best possible way? Everything is at his wish. He knows everything, past, present, future, all the things.
He knows.
Plus,
He knows everything.
whatever is going on is always by his wish. So still,
So it is
how
not
we
his
can,
wish as such.
keep on.
See, there are umpty number of shlokas in Bhagavad Gita wherein it is said by Krishna that the freedom of doing work, karma is given to you. The freedom of thinking is also given to you. These four
Oh.
instruments of Sharir, Indriya, Mana and Buddhi, which has been given to human beings, is for attaining the Paramatma. But whether to use it or to misuse it is up to you. You can think whatever you want to think. You can act whatever way you want to act. The freedom of karma and freedom of thinking is all given to human beings. So Paramatma doesn't dictate to us. In Gita also, if you see Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, there is not a single shloka when he says, you should do this only. Don't do anything. If you know I am Paramatma, then listen to me. Everywhere he says, iti me matihi. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. And at the end of all Gita also, in the
Correct.
18th Adhyaya, Krishna says, whatever you want to do it. What I have told you the entire Gita now. Now you can do whatever way you want to do.
That is always true. But whenever we keep on talking, we always say that everything is at his wish, is because of him. It is everything is governed and ruled, and what all explanations we can give.
No. See,
So
there are
how we means
there are
it becomes a very
in Gita,
say-
Paramatma has said it more than once that I don't design the karma of people. I don't design the karma for all people. They are mistaken when they say that I am doing all these things. I am not doing all that. I am not involved in that. I don't want to do it. It is your karmas of the past life which create your samskars. And according to those samskars, you keep doing your karmas in this life as well. Instead of trying to improve your samskar in this life, if you get entangled with your past karmas in the form of samskars and keep repeating those mistakes which you have done in the last life, what can I do? I have given you a chance to improve. But if you are not using your intellect, your buddhi, your mind to rectify your past mistakes, instead of that, you are accumulating more and more obligations in the baggage which you carried from the last life. What can you do? How can you blame me for that? I have given you the freedom.
okay.
So
Understood. This part means we understand, but exactly again it becomes a very
that we have a tendency that whenever something doesn't happen to our liking, who is the best scapegoat?
that is true.
God.
But that
Okay,
many
God.
times it
Let us pass
happens.
it on to Paramatma. Oh, God is not so kind to me. So we pass it on to Paramatma because he is imperceptible. He cannot defend himself. No, can you pass it on to some human being?
Means
You
both
cannot.
very
The human being will
very
protest.
can be
Paramatma will
explained.
not protest. So that is the way of our thinking. It is our mistake to think that way.
Another thing I want to mention that every day you are Vishnu Sahasranam chanting. I
Yeah.
get charged with that.
Oh, great. Very good.
Listening, listening to that, I always get charged every morning. That another thing I wanted to mention in the comment.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Any other questions?
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya. Can
Jai
you
Shri
please
Krishna.
explain
30.
30 last one?
30 is the, as I told, this is the beginning of 8th Adhyaya. Paramatma is giving his 3 roles. Adibhut, Adidaiva and Adiyajna. And one who knows these 3 different roles of Paramatma, that there is nothing else but Paramatma's these 3 roles is Adibhut. That means whatever universe is there, which gets created and which gets destroyed is Adibhut. Our body is Adibhut. Body gets formed, body falls sick, body gets destroyed. So whatever material world is there, it is all Adibhut. Then Adidaiva, the creator who created this. And Adiyajna is the Lord Vishnu, which is there in us, in our Sarvasya Amrisan Vishnu. In 15th Adhyaya we learn this, Mami Mosha Jiva Loke, or Sarvasya Amrisan Vishnu. This fragment of Paramatma which is in us is Adi Yajna. So these are three of Paramatma's roles. And Krishna says in this shloka that one who knows me in totality, if he knows the three roles of mine, that means he has understood me in totality. One who understands me in totality, he will come and meet me. He will be with me. Even at the end of life, he knows. Even at the end of life, Prayana Kale, even at the time of Prayan Kal, he knows these three roles of mine and believes in it that firmly. Then he will meet me. He will obtain me. He will achieve me.
Okay, and like we have Bhagavad Gita 18th Adhyaya, like sequence we have, right? 1, 2, 3. So why did we start from the 12th?
Because 12th Adhyaya is Bhakti Yoga.
Yes.
In Bhakti Yoga 12th Adhyaya, we should first understand what are the requirements of being a Bhakta of Paramatma. Bhakti Yoga. Two reasons for there. One is it's a small Adhyaya, 20 shlokas only. Secondly, it says in 2-3 ways how to become Paramatma's Bhakta and what are the best attributes of Uttam, the Shrestha Bhakta, the superior Bhakta which Paramatma accepts. Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Kurunaivacha Nirmamo Nirankara Samadukha Sukakshami Santushta Sadata Yogi Adatma Dhrudanishya Mayer Pitamano Buddhir Yoma Bhakta Sime Priya. From 13th to 19th, in these shlokas, Paramatma has given 39 attributes of his beloved bhaktas. And how to do bhakti of Paramatma, that also is explained in 12th Adhyaya. So, when we start learning Gita, if we understand this basic thing of learning Gita, it helps. And secondly, as I said, it is only of 20 shlokas. So, if you learn one Adhyaya, it raises your confidence that yes, I can understand and I can learn Gita. If you, in the beginning, you learn first or second Adhyaya, first Adhyaya is 47 shlokas, second Adhyaya is 72 shlokas, maybe you will get slightly discouraged. Because second Adhyaya is that way little difficult to understand and long also, 72 shlokas, so it is pretty long also. So let us deal with 16th Adhyaya, 12th Adhyaya first, and then 15th Adhyaya is Paramatma's own introduction, Purushottam. What is Purushottam? Dvamyo Purusho Loke Purushakshare Avachakshara Sravani Bhutani Kotastokshara Uchyate. Uttama Purushastanya. There are two types of Purush. One is Kshara and another is Akshara. Kshara is our body. Akshara is the Atma in that body. So there are two types of Purush. One is Kshara Purush, another is Akshara Purush. But Paramatma is Anya. Uttama Purushasta Anya. Paramatma Tidarata, whom we call Paramatma, is neither Kshar not Akshar. He is beyond that. He's beyond that. So this is the introduction of Paramatma himself in 15th Adhyaya. Urdhvamula Shaka Vashvatam Prahoravyam. So that is the reason that we learn these two adhyayas first in L1. 12th Adhyaya and 15th Adhyaya. Both adhyayas are 20 shlokas only. Very easy.
Okay, Vaidya. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Any other questions?
ಅಣ್ಣ
Mr.
ನನಗೆ
Meir, you are unmuted now.
I want 21 and 20 slokas meaning.
20?
1 and 22.
21 and 22.
Yo mom.
Okay, I think we discussed it today. Okay, let us read it again. Yo yayandanam bhakta shraddhaya arjita vichati tasya chalam shraddhan tameva vidadamyaham. In simple terms, Paramatma says in this shloka 21 that yo yayandanam bhakta shraddhaya arjita vichati tasya chalam shraddhan tameva vidadamyaham. whichever deity, whichever demigod a devotee wants to worship with faith, with Shraddha, I make his faith in that very deity, in that very demigod, more firm, more drudha, and unwavering. I fortify his faith in that deity. He is not worshipping me, no complaints. He is worshipping other demigod because he wants to get his kamanas fulfilled, his materialistic world demands fulfilled. He runs after another deity, no problem. I allow him to do that, and whatever demands he has about this material world from that deity, I fulfill those demands through those deities. So yoya yantur bhakta shraddhyarchitam icchati tasya tasya chalam shraddhan tameva vidadamyaham. Then 22 shlokas Paramatma says, Sataya shraddhya yuktas tasya radhanami hate labhate chatatah kaman vayaiva vihitan hitan. Because maintaining such faith, which in turn is prompted by the motive of desire fulfillment. The faith in that deity of that particular devotee is because he has a firm belief that my deity will fulfill my demand. I want a house, he will give me a house. I want a car, he will give me car. I want more money, he will give more money. I want my daughter to get married, he will get my daughter married. So he has some kamanas, which he is of firm belief that his deity will provide all that. So the individual endeavors to worship a particular deity or demigod with that intention. And then as sanctioned by me, Paramatma says, Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan. I sanction, as we discussed in the Vivechan today, that it is like a corporate sector. When the promotions are granted in a company, you think that your boss has given you promotion, but actually it is not within the authority of your boss to give you a promotion. Your boss can give a recommendation to his boss. His boss will send a recommendation further up and up and up. And ultimately the top boss, he will approve this promotion plan of that company. That this year we'll have so many promotions, this is the budget of promotion. So Paramatma is in the position of that CEO, that chairman. And these demigods are in the positions of different levels in that corporate. So the supervisor thinks that his boss has given him the promotion. Ultimately, it is coming from the top boss, from Paramatma. And it is exactly what Paramatma is saying in this, that Mayeva Vihitan Nidan. I sanction those demands and then I fulfill those demands through those deities, so that his belief in his deity gets more firm. Like you get promotion from your boss, then you start getting firm belief in your boss. You start doing whatever he wants you to do because you are under the impression that he has given the promotion. Ultimately, the promotion has come from the top. So it is similar way.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ
Yeah,
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಯು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ಡ್ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್ಲಿ
thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Mihiji,
Really nice explanation. Because actually I wanted you to explain the last sloka, which you already explained
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
There was some interruption in audio and video. That's why I wanted to ask, but I'm satisfied. So nice of you.
Brief
Thank
introduction
you
of
for
three
your-
roles of Paramatma was Adi Yajna, Adi Daiva, and Adi Bhut. So these three roles of creator, maintainer, and destroyer are being in the form of Paramatma in us, Adi Yajna. So all these three roles are Paramatma. And one who knows these roles of Paramatma, even at the end of his life, he achieved the purpose of his life.
So importance of the Prayana Kala Pichaman, God wants to say what that one should realize these
Throughout the
three
life,
aspects.
throughout the life, you keep on learning. But even if you are delayed, and at the end of life, you know me, you are done. You have achieved the purpose of your life. If you know these three roles of
Yes,
Paramatma, Adi Bhut, Adi Daiva, and Adi Yajna, even at the end of your life, then you achieved the purpose of your life. So why do wait till last breath in the life? If we can attain this when we are living the life happily, better it is, no? Why to wait till the last breath? Why should we wait for Prayana Kal and learn Geeta? If we are happy now, let us learn Geeta now only when we are not having Prayana Kal. Because Prayana Kal will more and more happy.
Nice of you. Thank you.
I think there are no more questions now. Thank you, Bhaiya, for clarifying the doubts of one of the participants. Now I'll move to the closing prayer. For the closing prayer, we have like to welcome Anand Kumarji from Mysore student, yoga instructor, studied till diploma in mechatronics engineering, serving as L1 Tech, joined Geeta Parivar in January 2023. Welcome, Bhaiya. Anand Kumarji, I think he's not joined yet. So I'm taking a prayer. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Last but not the least, sincere thanks to tech team who remain in the backend illustration and make this event a grand success. Now, please, everyone will play Hanuman Chalisa. Everyone mute on being on mute, chant the Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Thank you to all the participants for joining this session. Now we'll meet next week. Till then, learn Geeta, teach Geeta, live Geeta in your life.